Hey guys and girls, and welcome back to Greatest Good Tarot. Hope you're doing well and keeping out of mischief as I tidy the place up. God, there's mess everywhere. This is going to be a brief reading because I think, famous last words, concerning Visa. There's also Mastercard involved in this and that kind of stuff. In the last couple of days, there was a reading that I produced for Trumpy Trump, Stuttering Starmer, with the Trump's visit to Scotland, I think is the actual one from the top of my head, where there was some sort of lawsuit. There was some sort of shenanigans on the Trump side that would dominate the situation. If I remember correctly, there was, I think the metaphor we used was kind of like a circus marquee tent thing. And there was two poles holding up the marquee and then a third one going up in the middle. I think this is it. It's got the energy around it, and that's why I'm doing a reading on it. Now, if you don't know what's going on with Visa, and I understand why you wouldn't, for a majority of people, it's all about gaming at the moment. So this is not... consider this not fact. These are broad stroke kind of bullet points. Action group of mums in Australia did a campaign, peer pressure group campaign, with about 1,000 emails bombarding Visa, Mastercard, and a few other payment systems operators to restrict, censor certain types of video games, violent video games. We're back to that shenanigans from the 90s, it seems. And basically, Visa, Mastercard, and a few other people then changed their terms and conditions, which then restricted Steam, which is a online shop, if you will, a platform that sells video games, to prevent them from selling said video games and censor what is on their platform. And now gamers are upset because this is not affecting just Australia. This is why it ties in and why I think this is what we're talking about, because it's affecting all of Steam platform, any country, all countries that are just because of a few, like 1,000 emails bombarding from this like mum group. Okay. And the mum group sounds quite small. It sounds like it's only like 50, 100 people in it. So that's why it's quite a questionable actions type situation, in my humble opinion. I may be wrong, but in my humble opinion. Now, so this has now been over the last week or two, maybe 3, but it's only come to my attention in the last 24 hours that the gamers, who are remarkably upset about all these different video games that they enjoy being censored, removed from the platform, unable to purchase these because Visa is and Mastercard and a few other places are basically threatening, if you don't remove these from your platform, censorship, you can no longer process the payment system using us. Okay, and basically they're the main ones, and if you can't use them, who are you going to use? Kind of situation. So gamers are now bombarding, and I do mean bombarding, because it happened. If the mums can do it, all the gamers, phoning them up, emailing, bombarding Visa primarily, it seems. But Mastercard are at fault in this respect as well, and a few others, PayPal, I think, and basically saying you're censoring what we can and cannot. It's not for you. Because Visa keeps saying, but we keep respecting the legal, what's legal in that country, blah blah blah. We respect the local laws, blah blah blah. Well, the games are legal, and you're still threatening to. Do you see what I'm saying? That's the issue here, and it seems to be a lot of censorship recently. So that's why I'm looking into this, because I feel like. Because some people mentioned maybe it could be the Apple lawsuit, and at first it didn't fit. energetically, it didn't sit right. It didn't kind of resonate with me. Suddenly the Visa one, suddenly it resonates because it opens a can of worms of what Visa and Mastercard can and cannot do, especially when they're trying to push us all towards the digital currencies. So it's like, aha. So what's going on with Visa? Where's it going to go? For the greatest good for all concerned. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Always be appreciative. Yes. And also, can I just say a big thank you to everybody who has been giving me love and affection, because today I earlier on released a video kind of a bit frustrated about the situation about getting land and farm and all that kind of stuff. And the frustration is this, very, very quickly, is looking at other countries around the world which have gone through 2008 crash, who have gone through COVID and are selling, the local rate land for a third of the price of what's here in the UK. At third, like, so cheap, it's so affordable, it's so accessible. And just to remind people that I'm part of a generation that, and this is not a blame, and I want to make this clear because others would go this route. This is not to blame boomer generation at all. You were there, you did things, you had opportunities, brilliant. It's people that then closed down those opportunities for what followed is a bit upsetting. And so we're now in a situation where my generation, we've had to go through, we haven't been able to thrive because of the 2008 crash, wait, and then COVID, and then wait. And when is our turn is basically the situation. So it's not a blame on you, it's a blame on the situation. It's like, when is our turn, guys? Come on. Anyway, so you caught me at a bad time on that one. Anyway, King of Wands. But thank you for your love and affection and snogs and all that kind of stuff via the comments. I very much appreciated it. King of Wands feels as if that is Visa Mastercard. This doesn't sound specific. It feels more industry than company, which is very, which is not what I was expecting. Page of Swords, looking at what else we can like, flirting with ideas, possibilities. Yeah. But in this case is, where else can we kind of, within the terms and services, shut down other things? This feels active. This feels as if they are purposefully kind of trying to, they would call it risk, which is understandable, but it's a very broad term. But that's what's coming up. What other risks are there? But if it's not illegal, then you just sit down, shut up, just take the payments. You're getting paid anyway, kind of thing. Why are you looking for risks? Yeah. 6 of Wands, victory, success, Magician, manifesting. I think this is the action groups looking for risks, victory, but this is the pushback of the censorship, because that's basically what it is. It's just another way. If you take away people's ability to transact, pay, get paid, then you're through the back door manipulating the marketplace. You're manipulating voice, speech, all that kind of stuff. That feels like the industry. That feels like the mums. They're like, especially when they're looking at each other with the victory, success. This is the pushback here. Planting the seed of opportunity. The agreement that they came to, or two wanted to come out on this one. So we got the rules and regulations. Yes, the Hierophant. Exactly. Exactly what I said. Page of Pentacles. Now from this success, it feels as if this pressure group is now going to go into, well, like, if the industry says that these are nasty pieces of work and they've self-centered, yeah, then it must be that we can make them illegal now. It's that kind of energy there. Yeah, it's really kind of sly situation, taking a leap of faith. This here is separate. Okay, this is the gamers bombarding Visa right now, primarily, and Mastercard and a few other places. They're the pushback. This here is the Mumsnet style type thing. It's not the UK version. It's like I said, the Australian type equivalent type thing. And this over here is just trying to do their own thing. Visa are just basically, and the industry is just like, nah. These just need to get a hobby. Do you know what I mean? It's these sort of people that just, why can't we get along? Now they're trapped. For a cups, what else can we do? Taking that beat, taking that moment, taking that time to review the situation, kind of Fagin, Oliver Twist styley, kind of like, I won't do it, right? Because this feels as if they're being put back in their box to a cups partnership. So there is going to be the reason why I say they feel like they're going to be put back in the box, because these two lines here are culminating in an agreement. Yeah. And this is what you like. If you're just to do business, then you can't take sides, as it were. I know that the banking system are trying to push for ESG, malarkey, but this is taking social justice to a whole new level kind of thing. And now they're stuck. They're trapped. They're being bombarded. They're constantly, okay, we'll appease you by this, that, and the other. But this feels like they're being put in their box. There is something here that they're going to be bombarded with. And we'll find that out in the outcome at the end, I hope. But if you're new here, we do a snapshot. This is the foundation of the reading. We'll then do a bit of gossip, and then we're going to do the outcome at the end. Overarching energy. Stuck. Have to make a decision. Gotta make a decision. Knight of Cups. Peace offering. It's this down here. There's some sort of peace offering here. This has got the energy of people starting to stop doing business with them. And it's interesting because I don't see and I don't mean this is a bad thing. It's just an observation. It seems very interesting / odd to me that people are willing to do this for Visa, Mastercard, that kind of thing. Get back in your box. If it's legal in the country, this is not the first time as well. I think there was something in Japan as well that this lot took the inspiration from. Which was still legal over there as well. It's that kind of thing. It's still legal, but you're still being self-righteous and trying to stop everybody else having access and payments and stuff. But this is interesting that people are willing to do this with Visa, but at the same kind of thing, they're not willing to do it here in the UK with Deliveroo, Just Eat, and what's the other one? Uber. Uber Eats or whatever it's called, and they're not, because it's exactly the similar kind of thing. But it's like if your platform, we can't. If you don't know who is delivering for you, even though they're supposed to be able to, you get fact checked and that kind of thing. If you don't know who's working for you, and we don't know who's working for you, then why aren't people kind of stop using them until they get themselves fixed? If there's not an urgency, if they're not being kind of boycotted, as it were, then it's like nothing will change. And what frustrates me on that specific thing is because obviously there was was it a fish and chip shop last week or the week before that was talking about how they had their own delivery staff. They were given all the paperwork to say that he could work in the country and all that kind of stuff, and then they went, yep, fine, lovely. And now it turns out that the paperwork that he showed was fraudulent stuff, and they're being fined £40,000 for doing it. And it's like if you've never seen what that paperwork is supposed to look like, then how do you even know? Do you know what I mean? It's like throw him a bone or something, put a hologram on it or something, you know, give them a chance. But yeah, it's interesting that as soon as you get to a certain level of money in the bank account, it's an entirely different system, and they'll have a meeting at the end of the week instead of, you know, causing mischief and all that kind of shenanigans. It's just a bizarre situation. Anyway, let's find out the gossip here. What's going on with this reading, please? Where's this going to go? For the greatest good. Thank you. Always be appreciative. These do not feel ready. So this is a perfect opportunity for me to waffle a little bit while I'm getting these cards ready. And suggest that you maybe want to subscribe and ding-a-ling the bell and all that kind of stuff. And like and all that good stuff. Genuinely helps out the channel so much. Come and join us. Come and join the Greatest Good Village, because it takes a village to support everybody. That is what we do. One more, and I think we're there. Okay. Yeah, they feel like they're in sync. Nice cut. And taken by force. This is up here, the victory. Interesting that it's a sword as well, with the Page of Swords. Yeah, these feel a little bit kind of... It's not anxious necessarily. It's just I'm getting the energy of, you know, when a chicken kind of scrapes at the dirt to get the, you know, what else can we do now? We've had a win. Now what else? You know, that kind of energy. Control puppet. That's Visa, Mastercard, all that kind of stuff. Shake up. Interesting that the shake up is on the gaming side here. The gamers. Corrupt dealings. Health issue. Yeah. This is exposing exactly what's going on in the system. Overall, change coming. Change is coming. Oh, lovely. And underlying energy, big changes coming. The wind cards are like, kind of like Mary Poppins. I'll stay until the wind changes. The change is coming in. Awesome stuff. So this is going to be huge. I think this is what I'm sensing here. If the Emperor comes out in the outcome of this reading, that would be Trumpy Trump or his team that are just going to bombard this. This is, this feels like it's huge. Absolutely huge. So let's have a look here. Right. It's interesting to me, however, that Visa is the energy I'm getting throughout this, and a Mastercard and all the others, right? The industry. The energy I'm getting from it is like the innocent middle guy when they're the ones that made the change. Yeah, they're the ones that got bullied into this position and they've caused their own mischief. Yeah. And this is not, like I said, this is not the first time they've done it. They've done it frequently for quite some time. I know a lot of podcasters back in the day that were, because of, I think, kind of like King Obama time, where they were deplatformed on PayPal and stuff like that. I'm not saying that I agreed with what they were saying, or right or wrong or anything, but to deplatform on Patreon, to deplatform them on PayPal and that kind of thing, it's just, that's another level of like bitterness to me. I think everyone's got a right to make their money in their own industry and stuff like that. How dare you kind of get in the way of like bullying people to stop others to use your technology to take payment? You know, it's that kind of, it's like, how spiteful are you? I don't like that. I think it's almost like a utility at this point. If you're, and you should act as such. If I was Visa or Mastercard, we are neutral. Yeah, we do not have, as a company, we do not have any issues in that respect. As long as they're legal, which they keep claiming, it's like as long as it's legal transaction in that country, then we'll let it happen. And then your actions say otherwise. It's that kind of, it doesn't smell right to me. So, that's why, to some extent, Greatest Good Tarot is in like independent platform, as it were. It's ours, yeah. And talking about that, very, very quickly, this card, two more, I think. I found out what was the issue with the website. And there was, and thankfully, several things. One, thank you so much for everyone's patience for waiting for private personal readings over there. I genuinely did not know that you had ordered over the last week or two. Okay? I've caught up. There's, I think, one or two left that have only recently come in, so I've got a little time to, I'm doing them after this. But basically what happened is my internet service provider changed our IP address at some point, and I don't know when. And during that time, the security system that we have on the website, the new IP address that we had been issued had been kind of marked as troublemaker by the software, the security software. So I didn't know pretty much all of July that I had been basically banned from accessing my own website until I was like, it's very quiet in July. Maybe everyone's on holiday, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what? I've got a bit of time. I want to update a few bits and bobs. And when I was trying to log in, that's when I found out. So all this time, I was in the dark, silence. Oh, I'm not receiving any notifications, thinking, oh, it's a quiet month. When actually all the messages weren't coming through because my IP address was blocked by the security system because it had been reissued at some point and I didn't even know. Right? So it got this weird shenanigans where I was blocked from my own website. But thankfully, then I've fixed it after frustrating many hours, which ate into the time that I was hoping to actually update the website. So I never got around to it. And got the IP reset and stuff like that. And that's all good. But it was just like a bizarre situation, a very, very bizarre situation. But yeah, it's been fixed now, and thank you for your patience. There's one person, and I'm only going to say their first name, that I've been trying to contact, that there is a technical issue on their account on the website. Please get in contact with me. Gail, please get in contact with me. I'm trying to get contact with you, but I don't want to spam you, as it were, on emails. So I'm just going to highlight here, please get in contact with me on the email address. You should have had an email from me. Just reply to that so that we can sort it out for you. But yeah, so it's just a bizarre month of technical weirdness. We had all the networks go down last week, if you remember. Vodafone. There was several others that went down. Starlink went down. Quite a few, all at the same week, all in the last within 2 or 3 days of each other, which was bizarre. And I may do a reading on that because it keeps bothering me to do one. And then this, and it was like, what is going on? What is going on? So, Six of Pentacles, peace treaty. Right. The choice between the mums and the bombardment of the gamers. Reviewing the situation, having the strength to do it. Right. Reflection. Wish coming true, lovely. New foundations, new rules, excellent. Death. If we don't get the justice, I'm getting justice here somewhere. Four of Swords. Hierophant again. Okay, overarching energy. 10 of Cups. Okay, so this is really going to be a win here. The Death card here very much feels like the end of this organization, or the organization is going to be rebranded. The Mumsnet thing. It's not Mumsnet, it's something else, but it's the Australian equivalent, as it were. Calm the F down, but the Hierophant, the rules and regulations need to be sorted out. It feels as if there's there's the panic from Mumsnet. Is there news cycle? There is a justice here somewhere. Review. I'm feeling a justice. Star card, make a decision. Because it feels as if once it starts getting to kind of Trumpy Trump their sort of levels, all hell breaks loose. That's what it feels like. It's very bizarre that it's not coming out. So let me just use the other deck to... Am I missing anything? Because the Hierophant is the rules and regulations are reflected, and we go back to how it was. Lots of apologies, that kind of stuff. We didn't mean it. We thought we were doing the right thing. Blah, blah, blah. Excuses via Visa and Mastercard. So that's good. So, yeah. But it feels as if there is some sort of, like, the next step is a lot like there's some sort of legal element to it. I'm sensing two legal elements. What else am I missing? Because it's like America towards Visa Mastercard. Then there's also some sort of Visa Mastercard towards the Mumsnet equivalent, in the Australian equivalent. I wish I could remember their name. I did have it before I started, and now I've lost it again. The Page of Swords. That's interesting because we have the Page of Swords here. Yeah? Mumsnet. Suddenly it's now in reverse as the overarching energy of this. This is you lying sod. You BSer. Yeah? This is you absolute get back in your box, which is what we're talking about here. No happy home. This is what I'm on about. It feels as if they're going to be bombarded with tosh. Empress in reverse, out in the cold, rejected, burdened. Yeah, this also feels like the burden here. This feels like Mumsnet. The equivalent of, sorry, I need to keep, it's not Mumsnet here in the UK, it's the Australian equivalent. I want to make that absolutely clear. I just can't remember their name. Out in the cold, suddenly up a certain creek without a paddle. This burden is Visa, Mastercard, that kind of thing, showing their own colours, true colours. And this is, it's almost going to be written in stone. Like if it's legal in that country, you allow it to happen. You can't just pick and choose kind of energy. You can't suddenly go, oh, but for reasons. Yeah. But I'm getting liar. You lied. You know, it's all that kind of energy. Yeah. You bombarded us. You lied to us. You manipulated the situation. It's that kind of energy. And it just feels as if this is, there's some sort of kind of, the legal team is now going to look at what can they do with the Australian equivalent to Mumsnet. Yeah. Focusing on what laws have they kind of, like harassment maybe, or what, you know, that kind of thing, peer pressure group. But I'm being told to return to this for some reason. There is some sort of Knight of Cups in reverse. There's no help. There's nothing coming in. It's like, it's almost as if their true colours came out, and now it's almost like they've given enough rope, and now everyone's like yanking on it, and they're tying themselves up in knots. But it feels as if very, very quickly that the neutrality, it feels very neutral, what we've been talking about of these businesses. It's like, if you're going to do this, you've got to be neutral. You can't pick and choose kind of thing in that respect due to peer pressure and stuff. That's the burden. So it's like they've shown their true colours, and now it's are you too big to fail kind of energy. Do you need to be split up kind of energy? What I'm seeing is the floodlight looking at suddenly being focused on their businesses, and questions suddenly being asked. But it's their own downfall. It's their own thing. This is like, especially with the world card here and the Nine of Swords. It's like that you did it to yourself kind of energy. So suddenly the risk is back on them. They didn't do the risk assessment that well. But if you're going to this, I think this is going to be, especially with changes coming here. Yeah, feels very strongly like suddenly the conversation about debanking is going to come back up in conversation and all that kind of stuff, and deplatforming and blah blah blah. But it's going to start with Visa, Mastercard. It feels like this, especially with the 10 of Cups, 9 of Cups. So we're going to leave this here for now. But I'm shocked that the Emperor didn't come up. I'm shocked that the Justice card didn't come up, because they're just like vibrating in the ether, as it were. But if you enjoyed this reading, please thumb me like. It generally helps out the channel. Subscribe, ding the bell, all that jazz. Comment down below your thoughts. If you were reading along and you know certain people in like America or Australia popped up, then please let me know. But until next time, we'll do this crazy shenanigans all over again. Take care. Look after yourself. Be well. And thank you for your company. I'll speak to you soon. See you later. Ta-ra.